Today we're diving into something exciting. Harman just released their new Phoenix 200 film for 120 format. Harman, as you probably know, is known for their traditional black and white film, especially under their Ilford brand. But with Phoenix 200, they're stepping into the color film for the first time, and I couldn't resist getting my hands on a roll to see how it performs. For this test, I took the Phoenix 200 out to one of my favorite spots in Zurich, the Sukkulenten-Sammlung. It's basically a succulent collection and conservatory with a ton of unique plants. Perfect for a quiet Sunday morning with my camera. I love how peaceful it is at that time, just me and these incredible plants. Plus, I'm a huge fan of succulents. Their shapes and textures are ideal for testing the film. The weather was partially overcast, with the sun occasionally peeking through the clouds. Not ideal, but perfect for seeing how this film handles different light conditions. I wanted to give this film as much light as possible, so I rated the 200 speed film at 100 ISO. In my experience, Harman films tend to like a little bit more light than something like a Kodak 200 film. Overexposing by a stop lets me see how the film reacts, especially in the highlights. I brought along the Mamiya 645 Super, paired with the 150mm lens. The 645 format is my go-to for medium format photography because of its interchangeable film bags. I love that flexibility. It allows me to switch film mid-roll if the light or mood changes without wasting frames. Shot number 1 was a close-up of a succulent, and right off the bat I metered for the shadows. The close focusing distance of the 150 is around 1.5 meters. It isn't ideal for tight shots, but I wanted the challenge. I usually shoot with the 80mm lens on the Mamiya 645, but using the 150 was a fun way to mix things up. One thing I noticed immediately is that the shadows lean heavily towards red. Also, the latitude of the film is pretty limited. You really need to nail your exposure, because Phoenix 200 isn't forgiving if you underexpose. Even though I rated the film at 100, it seems like Phoenix 200 craves even more light. For example, in this shot, I probably miscalculated the scene's metering. Despite overexposing by a stop, the image still looked underexposed. This film definitely needs all the light it can get. I developed and scanned the negatives myself at home and used Negative Lab Pro to convert them. For this test, I kept all the settings at default just to see the film's natural look. Take a look at this shot. Anything that was originally yellow or orange in the scene became even more saturated and vibrant. On the other hand, if you look at this frame, you see that Phoenix 200 handles blue tones and green tones beautifully, especially on the cactus plants. Now let's talk about skin tones. In the last frame, you can see that it handles skin tones decently. Certainly not as good as Portra, but it has its own unique characteristics. It's pretty close to reality, though not as smooth as some other films in this category. So those are my first impressions of Harman's Phoenix 200 in 120 format. I think it's awesome that Harman is investing in new color film. The film has its unique look, deep saturated colors, especially in the reds and yellows, and rich shadows. It definitely has its place in the current lineup of films, but it's not the most forgiving when it comes to exposure. I'd recommend giving it plenty of light. Before I give my final verdict, I need to try this film in more situations. Different lighting, different scenes, and different subjects. But so far I'm impressed. It's great to have more options in the film community, and Phoenix 200 is a solid first color film from Harman. Let me know in the comments if you tried Phoenix 200 or if you're thinking to giving it a shot. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more film photography content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.